Hi, my name is Cat McLean, and I'm a public health nurse on the school health team at Southwestern Public Health. I'm joined by Hayley Sullivan, who is an early years therapist in our community. Thanks for joining me today, Hayley. Today, we will be talking about parent and caregiver mental health and well being. We will also be discussing strategies to help support children as they transition to kindergarten. To start off, we want to highlight the importance of first checking in on your own mental health and well being as a parent or caregiver. Haley, can you please explain why this is so important?
Absolutely. So, a word that you're going to hear me mention again and again is co regulation. And what co regulation means is that early years kiddos don't really have the ability to regulate their emotions on their own. Their brain just isn't quite there yet. So, they really do need that calm adult presence to help them kind of organize and sort out and regulate those emotions. So, Kat had a really good analogy of if you kind of think of it like a building and a scaffold, your child is the building. We need that really strong, secure scaffold to help support your child as they grow.
Even though we know self care is important, sometimes people may find it difficult to incorporate it into their busy lives. Do you have any tips for parents and caregivers on how they can practice self care?
So, time is usually the biggest barrier that we see. And so, something that we like to talk about is that it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a big chunk of time. It really can be taking those 5 minutes, locking yourself in your bedroom and going, this is mom's time. Some other ways of just keeping yourself accountable to taking that self care time is setting goals. So, that might look like getting out for a walk 3 times a week, as well as finding a partner or a buddy to do this with so that you can check in and make sure that you're doing the things that you need to be doing to support your littles.
Thanks. Those are great tips. When a child is preparing to enter kindergarten, it's common for both the parent or caregiver as well as the child to experience a variety of emotions. Some may feel excited, nervous, or may even feel a bit sad. Do you have any suggestions to support someone who's feeling sad or anxious about school?
Definitely. So, the first thing that the parent can do is really validate all of those emotions and all of those feelings that come up. So, that might look like saying something like, it's okay to be sad about this big change that's happening in your life. But just whatever feelings are coming up, really recognizing that we don't have to be ashamed of those feelings and that they are all normal and valid feelings to be having. In terms of really addressing some of those things, preparation can be key. So, that might look like if your child will be taking a bus and you can figure out the bus route, driving the bus route so you can point out what they'll be doing every day. That could be getting a picture of the child's classroom teacher, figuring out if your child can bring a transition object. So, a picture of the family, a small stuffed animal, something that can kind of help them have some of that comfort from home in class. And also just like having picnics or playing in the school playground over the summer, something to just really get the child used to that space that they're going to be in.
Next, I have a scenario question. We're about to leave the house, and suddenly my child is crying and saying they do not want to go to school. What are some strategies I can use if this happens?
Yeah, so that's a hard one because it really does go back to that idea of co regulation. In those kinds of scenarios, a busy morning, everybody's rushing. When the child starts showing some of those signs of not wanting to go to school, that usually sets off the parents' kind of sharp music, alarm bells, and becomes a really stressful moment for them. And so, of course, if the parent is really stressed, there's nobody there for that child to regulate to. So everybody's just dysregulated. In that moment, if the parent can find that way to take that step back, take that deep breath, and respond really calmly in that moment, that can go a huge way to kind of bringing down some of those big emotions. And then again, validating is huge. So, it's okay to not want to go. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be sad while maintaining those boundaries. So, that might look like saying something like, and you need to go to school because that's your job for the day. So, really walking that line between validating and understanding the emotion while maintaining the boundary.
Okay. I've also heard that some children may struggle with big emotions after school. Is this common, and how could a parent or caregiver manage this if it happens?
This is super common. Remember that their day is really challenging and really draining for them in the same way that an adult day can be really challenging and really draining for us sometimes. And so, what that can look like when you come home is really prioritizing some time to reconnect with your child one on one, making sure to check in around some of those basic needs. So, the HALT model, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired, can really go a long way towards meeting some of the needs that might make it hard for your child to regulate emotions. And again, just really appreciating and understanding that that can be a hard day for them. So it's not personal, it's not about you. It might be about all of the things that have happened to them throughout their day.
Hey, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to thank my speaker, Haley, for her insight on this topic. If you are watching this and you have concerns about your child's development or have questions, help is available. Please see your healthcare provider, reach out to Wellkin, or speak to a public health nurse for more information. Wishing you all the best on your way to kindergarten.